Hey, house guests! Welcome to today's Big Brother 26 updates and spoilers. It's Freaky Friday. Our house guest of the day is Jenny Swendener. Jenny, thank you so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate you so, so much. So thank you again. And if you guys want a house guest of the day like Jenny, check out our Patreon link in the description below. We also have our link for Paramount Plus down there. And if you use our link to get live feeds, it really helps us out. So we appreciate that too. Oh my goodness. I'm still shook from what went down last night. So to quickly recap, Cedric, Mackenzie, and Rubina were all on the block last night. They competed in the AI arena, and Mackenzie just barely beat out Rubina to win safety. I'm great. How are you? So then we had Rubina versus Cedric on the block, which was the most chaotic scenario possible, right? This one had the most planning involved of what everybody would do. Everybody was dreading this outcome, except for the viewers. We were all super excited and pumped for it. But T-Court and Chemo were orchestrating a vote flip for this scenario, and they pulled it off. So Cedric was evicted by a vote of 6-3, which honestly was really sad. Like, I wish it was a different member of the Pentagon, because Cedric, such a sweetheart. I'm so sad to see him go. He seems like such a genuine guy. And he had a great attitude about the whole thing. But like, this had to be done in order to bust this game wide open, and it sure was. So the 3 votes for Rubina to go were Brooklyn, Chelsea, and Cam. They were all blindsided by this vote. So it was exciting. Last night we also saw the voting open for the AI instigator. So this secret power, one house guest is going to have the ability to secretly spread rumors throughout the house, and they will be doing it using avatars of the other house guests through the AI thing, the portal, whatever you want to call it, the thing that Ainsley pops up in, and AI Angela was in last week. So that's interesting. It's a lot of fun. We're also going to get to vote for how much we think that house guest should be rewarded or awarded, whatever, for their work. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm not sure when the voting closes. Is it already closed? I don't know. But we'll see how it affects the game. Also, the HOH competition had not started by the end of last night's episode, but it's the wall. We look forward to it every single season. And everyone is playing this time because Quinn and Angela, neither of them had like a full HOH reign, right? They each had certain powers associated with being HOH, but neither of them were like the full HOH. So they both get to play in the wall competition. Wonderful. All right. So the feeds came back after the episode was over, but before the competition. They actually came back around 6:40 Big Brother time. So we missed like quite a bit of immediate aftermath following the show. I have no idea what that was like. Hopefully we'll get to see some of that on the episode. But even the stuff after that was like, so we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. So, okay, when the feeds came back, Brooklyn is trying to explain herself to Rubina because she voted Rubina out. And we also saw on the episode during that like 2 minutes of strategizing time before the vote, Brooklyn was basically saying goodbye to Rubina. So it's not like she can hide her vote here. It is known that she voted to evict Rubina. Leah was there for this conversation as well. And Brooklyn tells Rubina, T-Core and Chemo lied right to my face. She says they were telling her to vote Rubina out. And then they flipped their votes. And Brooklyn's left holding the bag, right? And she says, I wouldn't have done that if they didn't lie to me. It just doesn't benefit me in any way. It doesn't make sense for me to vote you out unless I thought other people were also voting you out. Girl, you've been planning on voting Rubina out this whole entire week. She was also one of the people who was thinking about voting Rubina out, even if she was up next to Mackenzie. So it's a bit ridiculous, but she's trying to blame this whole situation on T-Court and Chemo. So after Brooklyn leaves the room, Rubina makes this face at Leah like, girl. And Leah's like, Yeah, I trust T-Core and Chemo 100% here. They told me that they were voting to keep you, so don't listen to Brooklyn. All right. So then Chemo and Chelsea are chatting in the storage room, and Chelsea says, "If you guys had just told me, I would have voted with you. I would have voted Cedric out." I don't believe that. She later changed that. Like in other conversations, she ended up changing it to, "I would have given Cedric a sympathy vote anyway, but it would have been nice to know." She says she's frustrated because now Tucker and Rubina are going to think that she's against them, and she's not. I mean, she definitely is, though. She is 100% against them. She's another one of the people that wanted to vote Rubina out, even if she was up on the block next to McKinley. So, yeah. Chelsea says, "I knew during those 2 minutes before the vote that y'all were switching, and I was wondering if someone was going to tell me." Nope, you were not a part of this. But Chemo says, "Please believe me when I tell you that T-Core and I are still protecting you. We're still looking out for you." And unfortunately, he's not lying about that. Chemo says, "I should have told you what was happening. I just wasn't in my right mind. There was so much going on." And Chelsea's again insisting that she would have been fine with voting Cedric out. No freaking way. All right. So then Chemo retreats back to the back bedroom, the rock one, with T-Core and Tucker. Tucker is stretching because he's suspecting it's going to be the wall competition, right? They didn't get confirmation on that until it was time, but everybody was assuming. And he has been stretching for days to prepare for this competition. T-Core, I feel like, was hiding out in that back bedroom basically since the episode ended, from what I could tell from what people are saying. But T-Core's really upset that Chelsea, Brooklyn, Cam, none of them are talking to her. Some of them aren't even looking at her. I don't think she's looking at them either. But she says they're mad at me. She's really upset about it. I mean, honestly though, what did she think was going to happen? She exposed them with this vote and they're not going to be happy with her. But at one point, Brooklyn even opened the door to the bedroom, saw who was in there, and walked away without even walking into the room. Oh boy, that's awkward. All right. Meanwhile, Chelsea and Brooklyn are trying to do some major damage control after being on the wrong side of this vote. So they're talking to Mackenzie. Mackenzie needs to get it together. They're talking to her, and Chelsea and Brooklyn are insisting that they would have voted with the majority had they known about the flip. Even Mackenzie was like, "I didn't know it was going to happen. I almost voted for Rubina to go because that's what I thought everybody was doing." Shaky. But yeah, Chelsea and Brooklyn are saying they flipped on us 30 seconds before the vote, and that's just not fair to us. They didn't give us enough time to process it and figure it out. You weren't going to do it anyway. Okay. But Chelsea and Brooklyn are pissed mostly at T-Core, Chemo, Leah, and Joseph. They're saying those four are playing both sides. They're being messy, and they were talking all way one week and then voted the other way. So again, Brooklyn's like, "Why would I have voted out one of the people that I'm closest to in the house?" She is laying it on thick. She's trying to claim that Rubina is one of the people that she's closest to in this house. Come on. When did those two even hang out? Give me a break. So back in the back bedroom, T-Core and Chemo are agreeing the time has come to tell Tucker and Rubina. I was going to say the time has come to lip sync for their lives. The time has come to tell Tucker and Rubina about the collective, the Pentagon, because they really want to explain why people are so upset with them over this vote. Also, they want to make sure that they get to Tucker and Rubina before someone else does, right? Because they're going to look bad if Tucker and Rubina find out from other people about these alliances. So that's great. That's fine. But then T-Core is also saying that she wants to try and salvage things with Chelsea, Brooklyn, and Cam. T-Core, stop. It's hurting me. She says if they're willing to have a conversation, we can tell them, "Look, we knew about the Pentagon. We realized we were at the bottom of the collective, and that's why we flipped." Okay, but then you move on. You can't work with them anymore. You've already turned on them. You can't do it. But she is so dead set on it. So Tucker comes back into the room with them, and Chemo's like, "Tucker, we need to tell you something. We're getting a divorce now. Chemo asks T-Core first, like, am I saying it? Can I say it? Which, why are you even asking? Because at that point, how is she even supposed to say no if she's not cool with it? Which, by the way, we find out later, she did not want Chemo to tell Tucker in that moment. She was still like, oh, I don't know when the right time is. But he basically backed her into a corner and was like, all right, I'm telling Tucker. So she was like, yeah, you can tell him. She was not comfortable with this. But Chemo, once again, spills to Tucker. And he says, me, T-Core, Joseph, we were all a part of this big group alliance. And it did include the other people that you were suspecting were all aligned. So like Brooklyn, Chelsea, Cam, Cedric, Quinn. He doesn't name all of them in that moment, but basically he's saying it was those people. And Chemo says, we were never included in anything. We felt like we weren't really a part of it. So that's what happened. And Tucker's like, cool. Like, he's super nonchalant about it. He's like, okay, cool. I trust you guys no matter what. I trust you after what you did, right? They just showed that they want to work with him because they voted to keep Rubina. Do they want to work with him though? I know Chemo does, but T-Core, get it together, girlie. All right, we'll get there. But a little later, T-Core and Chemo get word from multiple people. Tucker, Rubina, Leah, they all report back to these two, and they let them know that Brooklyn and Chelsea are dragging their names through the mud. We've seen it a bit already, right? They are putting all the blame on T-Core and Chemo for their current predicament, right? And they're saying Brooklyn is straight up saying that you told her to vote out Rubina. So Chemo is pissed about this. T-Core is upset. She's like tearing up, starting to cry. Is this going to convince her to finally cut ties with Brooklyn and Chelsea? Not really. Yeah, maybe Brooklyn, but not Chelsea. So then the feeds go down leading up to the wall competition. I feel like they were down for like an hour before they actually got into the comp. But I have to mention, Tucker is so confident going into this competition. He was talking some crazy stuff about how he never changes his grip when he's carrying his groceries. And like, that's the key. You can never change your grip because that's where you slip up. I mean, he is kind of right about that though, because in this competition, especially if you get all that gook and goo on your hands, like it's going to make the handholds more slippery. But anyway, he also was talking about some trick that he does with his hands. He's been doing it since he was 15. Everything is since he was 15. And he said, yeah, when I do this thing, like people can never pull my fingers apart. It's crazy. So he's all hyped up. However, he does have an Achilles heel here. He is worried about the cold. He does not do well in the cold. Can relate. Yeah, it was just cracking me up, the whole like groceries thing and the finger trick, whatever. But anyway, it's time for the wall competition. Woo! So it started a little after 9 p.m., Big Brother time. And the theme for the wall this season is a firewall. Woo! Very clever. I like that because, you know, like technology, firewall, computer. It sounds like Ainsley is hosting. I think that was Ainsley's voice. And again, everybody is playing, including Quinn and Angela. So the wall starts tilting, I think for the first time. And Angela's out. She's like, I can do this. I can't do this. Bye, everybody. So she was out. She was pretty upset about it. But like, did she really think that she was going to be in there for the long haul? This is just not her competition. You need to accept sometimes that it's not going to be for you. But yeah, she was out first. Chemo, he was down pretty quickly right after her. And then it was time for Ainsley to play her games. She says a virus is attacking the firewall. So Big Brother hits them with some green goo. I think it was Cam who, before the season started, said he wanted to play a competition where he gets like really messy and like gooped up. So here you go. This is what he's been waiting for. Then these house guests start dropping like flies. I mean, we're still not far into this at all. Joseph drops and he took a tumble walking to the sidelines. It was very slippery in this one area, like walking to the side. Leah's out, Chelsea's out, all in quick succession, all three of them. Jeez. Next, BB turns on the sprinklers, and it wasn't like they were dousing everybody. Like, it was more of like a mist almost, I feel like they were vegetables at the grocery store. T-Core was out a few minutes later. She was just happy that she wasn't the first one out. I don't think she was really planning on winning this one. But at this point, half of the field remains. So we have Tucker, Rubina, Cam, Mackenzie, Brooklyn, and Quinn. And then Big Brother starts blasting them with paint. It wasn't like a constant thing. It was like every once in a while. But when I heard that first blast go off, and it was like, it was nuts. Like, it was a lot of paint, and it got to them forcefully. It was a lot. It was too much for Mackenzie. She's out, quickly followed by Brooklyn. And then Big Brother starts hitting them with some like steam, smoke. I don't know what it was. Gwyneth Paltrow steam cleaning. I don't know. But it was like between the legs, basically. Yeah, so Rubina dropped not long after that. And then we're down to our final three: Tucker, Cam, and Quinn. And Cam had this interesting strategy. He kept sticking his hands down his pants to like clean them off and get like the paint and the goo off. And honestly, he took out his hands and they were like really clean. But it didn't matter. He was out less than 10 minutes after Rubina. So that means we're down to our final two: Tucker and Quinn. You cannot make this up that these two are the last ones left up on the wall. Also, they are on opposite ends of the wall, which was interesting, and they're both wanting and needing this win so badly. And then Big Brother cuts the feeds. Big Brother cuts the feeds after Cam falls, so we don't get to see the rest of this competition play out. WTF? Like, why? We're paying for this. Why are you doing this to us? And you told us we'd be able to watch. So I don't know the final time, like the final length of this competition, because the feeds were cut. But Cam did go down around the half-hour mark, somewhere around there. And the feeds came back after 19 minutes. Everybody's back in the house at this point. They're cleaning up, they're showering, whatever. And we don't know who won HOH, right? So we have Tucker and Quinn side by side in the showers. And Quinn looks pissed. So yeah, we find out that Tucker won HOH and he is putting on a show for us. He said he was going to win and he did. But oof, here's the oof moment. Apparently, Tucker offered Quinn a safety deal right at the end of the competition and Quinn declined it. And then Quinn fell the next time the wall tilted. Ooh. That sucks. All right, so then after cleaning up a bit, Quinn sits down in that first bedroom and he's just like quietly staring at a wall for a while. Like, he stayed there for a while and he was just like it was rough. You could tell he was really upset. He really wanted to win that one, but he couldn't pull it off. He couldn't go up against Tucker grocery hands. So juxtapose that with Joseph and Tucker celebrating Tucker's win in the storage room. They're like kissing on the cheek, and it was a juicy kiss. Tucker has now gotten further with Joseph than he has with Rubina. Tucker also got some hugs from Chemo, from Angela, his mommy, and Tucker says this house is about to change up. He's going to shake things up this week. Woo! Just a little side note here. Angela, Chemo, and Joseph are all have-nots this week, just the three of them, because they were the first three out of the competition. This is kind of sad. Angela's birthday is on Saturday. Are they going to let her like eat regular food to celebrate, or nah? I don't know. But I saw today that Brooklyn was like laughing about that fact that it's Angela's birthday tomorrow and she's a have-not, and Brooklyn's mean girl side is just really popping out and it is not good. But a little later, Brooklyn, Chelsea, and Cam are chatting in the back bedroom, and oof, there's a bunch of bitter betties back there. Mostly Brooklyn, though. So Brooklyn is now crabbing that Angela may have just made it to jury with Tucker being HOH this week. They don't know when jury starts, but Brooklyn says it's comical if she ends up going before that woman. I'm sorry, but it just makes Brooklyn's downfall even more enjoyable to watch. Oh my God. So Cam is telling Brooklyn, I don't think Tucker's going to put you up on the block. Chelsea says she thinks it's going to be Quinn, Leah, and Mackenzie going up. Girl, keep dreaming. That may be what you want to happen, but Cam and Brooklyn, though, they're like, no, I don't think so. It's not going to be those three. Because Mackenzie is going to do whatever Tucker wants, right? She wants to work with Tucker. Honestly, though, Mackenzie's kind of being a weirdo because Mackenzie is like proposing this alliance to Tucker with the two of them, Chelsea and Brooklyn. Why would he want to work with them? It's just like, girl, wake up. I don't get it. She needs to really like dial in. But yeah, they feel like Mackenzie's going to do whatever Tucker wants, so he's not going to put her up. Also, they think that Tucker feels like he can beat Mackenzie in competitions. Brooklyn says Tucker just wants to play with floaters. She calls it the da-da-das. I guess she means, I think her definition of floater here is more of like a coaster that doesn't win anything, but what have you won? She has won 0 competitions so far, so I don't know why she thinks so highly of her gaming skills. But Brooklyn says we can win competitions when we need to, so it's going to be fine. Cam is pretty confident he's going to be going up on the block. Yeah, at least he's realistic. Brooklyn is talking again about how she wants to backdoor Tucker next week if the twist is done with, with the AI competition and everything. She can tell Tucker, congratulations, you're the first member of the jury. Again, we don't have confirmation on when jury is going to start. Sometimes they do a smaller jury. Sometimes it's only like 9 people or 7 people. Who knows? We'll find out. But Cam thinks even if Tucker did get evicted, Big Brother is not letting him go. He says Big Brother would give Tucker a battle back because there's no way that they want to lose those ratings. And then Big Brother cut the feeds. Clocked. But anyway, Brooklyn continues to be nasty. She was like asking Big Brother to make the cameras ring a little more in the HOH room. Because if you haven't already heard, Tucker has been having some like issues with the audio. He's like picking up on the cameras making a ringing sound, and it was like driving him insane. So that's why Big Brother gave him those earplugs. I guess it was last week or the week before. So she's like, yeah, turn up the ringing sound on the cameras. Boo! Okay, so then Joseph, T-Core, and Chemo are chatting in the have-not room, and Joseph is feeling great, right? He's on cloud 9 right now. He feels really good about the decision to flip. He's glad he went through with it, and he's happy that Tucker won HOH, right? Sometimes they do these flips, and then someone who is scorned with the flip wins HOH. But this time it really worked out for the flippers. So Joseph's like, this is great. We can chill this week. Tucker is probably going to put up some combination of Cam, Chelsea, Brooklyn, and Quinn. We can let those 4 just fight it out for the week. And T-Core's like, well, I do want to keep Chelsea safe, though. Stop with Chelsea. It's too much. She doesn't care about your game. Joseph says, yeah, out of that group, I do like Chelsea. He says she and Cam handled this situation really well. He says the only one who really came at me sideways was Brooklyn. And he says, honestly, she was never in our thing in the first place. He's still hung up about Brooklyn being brought into the collective alliance, basically without his permission. So Joseph asks Chemo and T-Core, have you guys told anybody about the collective yet? Like, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page with like telling people and all that. I mean, they didn't say the name, but they did tell Tucker about it. But Chemo says no. But Chemo says we should probably tell people before Chelsea, Cam, Brooklyn potentially like blow it up. We don't need that. So Chemo is also like, I just want to say I want to protect Chelsea as well. Okay, Let's move on. Tucker is beginning his one-on-one conversations. He did not have his HOH room at this point, but he's got to get down to business, right? Got to get these chats in. So you know who the first 3 people are to talk to Tucker. You know already it's Brooklyn, Cam, and Chelsea. So Brooklyn basically tells Tucker, I haven't lied to anyone in the house. It was very Mona Lisa Saperstein. I have never done anything wrong in my entire life. Money, please. It was very much like that. And she says, I was just lied to by those 3 people, meaning T-Core, Joseph, and Chemo. And she says, all I've gotten was a sorry from Chemo and Joseph. T-Core won't even look at me. So Tucker's like, okay, cool. Quinn is my target this week. Is he though? I think he's lying to Brooklyn. So then Cam talks to Tucker. I'm just giving you the highlights here. And Tucker lets him know if he does go up on the block, he's just going to be a pawn. Cam does make it known he does not want to go up. Like, he is not by any means volunteering, but he will understand if Tucker puts him up. And Tucker says, if I win the veto, I'll use it on you. Oh, will he? I don't know. Chelsea has her chat. And again, Tucker is saying that Quinn is his target and he needs a pawn to go up against him, or 2 pawns. And Chelsea was like, I think you should put up a mentally strong competitor and a physically strong competitor, and not me. But he brings up, look, I was a pawn for you during your HOH week. So might be time to return that favor. But she also makes it known she does not want to go up if it can be avoided. All right. So then Tucker chats with Joseph, and we do get some clarity on what Tucker is planning, because he tells Joseph, I trust you more than anybody else in the house. So I'm going to tell you what's up. So Tucker confirms he wants to put up Quinn, Brooklyn, and Cam. However, they agree that Quinn should not be the target this week. Their target is Brooklyn. Tucker is just not feeling as threatened by Quinn anymore. He feels like he can beat him in competitions, and he feels like Brooklyn is like running the show with the other side of the house. So he wants to take her out. And then Joseph is spilling about the collective, the Pentagon. Wonderful. I mean, Tucker's already basically heard this, but Joseph is trying to build that trust more with Tucker, right? So then Tucker finally gets his HOH room after 1 a.m. Big Brother time. It was a very late night. He got pictures of his family, his dog Ziggy, who is such a freaking cutie. Oh my God, he was gorgeous. He got music that he wanted, The Vision by The Vision. I'm not familiar with them, but Tucker said they are disco funk. I think he also got Tequila. And he got a letter from his dad. He was crying before he even started reading it. It was very, very sweet. And his dad told him to keep being the fabulous you that you've become. Aww. And also, fun fact, his dad lives in Costa Rica, which is just so cool. Yeah, so that was nice. It was nice to see the non-Joker side of Tucker, because I feel like we see the game version of him a lot, but it was nice to see more of his human side. So then Tucker continues his one-on-ones. He's talking to Quinn, and Quinn is like, I don't want to go home pre-jury. Nobody wants to date someone who leaves pre-jury. And Tucker says, look, I got to put you up on this block, right? It's going to look insane if I don't. But he says, I do not want you to leave this week. He says, I'm sorry that I've got to put you up there, but I have like 2, 3, 4 other people that I want out before you. So he says, Chemo and T-Core have both been like pushing me to reconsider my relationship with you and like reconsider targeting you. They've really been speaking well of you. And Tucker says, if I win the veto, you know I can do some crazy shit and I can use it on you. So he implies that Chelsea would go up as the replacement in that situation. So they talk about how much they respect each other, even though they have their little WWE rivalry going on. But Tucker tells Quinn, look, if you can keep all of this information that I've just given you a secret and it doesn't get out anywhere, then I will follow through with the plan. And if I win the veto, I'll use it on you. We'll see. We'll see if Quinn is capable. I mean, he's had a really big mouth all season so far. So we'll see if he's able to keep it to himself. But eventually, the tanks meet up in the HOH room to solidify. And again, the tanks, that's that group that was out. I keep saying out. The group that was hanging out by the fish tank when Angela came over and was like, please let me be in your group. I don't care if I'm at the bottom of it. So Tucker, Rubina, Angela, T-Court, and Chemo, they're all in the HOH room. And they're like, what if we brought in Joseph? I mean, he did vote with us for this. Think we can work with him, trust him. So they bring him in. Now they have 6 people and they rebrand the alliance. They lock it in as 6th Avenue. Okay, I guess. Going with like a New York theme, I guess. So they're like 6th Avenue on 6. So everybody counted off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think their little like signal thing is like honking a horn. I think. Sure. But Tucker shares his plan with them for Brooklyn, Cam, and Quinn to go up. And he also lets them know that Quinn is just a pawn here. And if he keeps quiet and Tucker wins the veto, he's going to use it on Quinn and put up Chelsea. I'm curious if anybody within this group would try to sabotage Quinn and go to Tucker and be like, Quinn was talking about your plan because they want him out. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if anybody would do that. It'll be interesting to see. But he also does share with the group that Brooklyn is his #1 target this week. Okay, so T-Court and Chemo chat after this meeting. It's so late at this point. But they're chatting. And T-Court, you may have guessed, is not super happy with the idea of Chelsea potentially being a replacement nominee this week. Girl, let it go. Enough about Chelsea. Enough about Chelsea. It's too much. She would want Mackenzie to be the replacement nominee this week. I mean, honestly, with the way Mackenzie is moving right now, whatever. But also, I need T-Core to just like stop it with Chelsea. But she's going on and on about wanting to protect Chelsea and Quinn moving forward, especially this week. And she also was talking to Chemo about how Tucker's going to have to go. Angela's going to have to go. So she's not really feeling this 6th Avenue alliance. She says her ideal final 6 would be her and Chemo, Rubina, Quinn, Chelsea, and Joseph. What is there to say anymore? I'm losing hope in T-Core, and that makes me so sad because she pulled off such a big move yesterday. I want to root for my fellow crochet girly, but like she's driving me insane. So today, T-Core apologizes to Chelsea for not telling her about the vote ahead of time. She's like, I'm sorry, I feel really guilty about putting you in a tough spot yesterday. And Chelsea's like, I'm not mad at you. I accept your apology. And she does admit, I would have thrown Cedric a sympathy vote either way. But she says, I wish I would have known that this was going to happen so that I could talk to Rubina about it so that she wouldn't think that I'm coming for her. Again, a reminder, she's definitely targeting Rubina and Tucker. She wanted to vote Rubina out, even if Rubina was up against Mackenzie. But T-Core is letting Chelsea know, I still want to work with you moving forward. I'm going to advocate for you with Tucker this week to make sure that you don't go up on the block. Is she, or is it going to be like last week when she was going to convince Quinn not to put up Rubina, but then like she did nothing about it? We'll see. But anyway, Brooklyn is continuing to spread her BS today. Now she's trying to place blame on Joseph and saying like Joseph started this alliance and then he turned on it. I mean, he told us that he was going to do that in his preseason interview. So he didn't waste any time with that. But yeah, everybody is seeing through what she's doing. She's basically just making it worse for herself and digging her hole deeper. But nominations are happening today. If you want to check back later, I will post the nominees in the description for the stream. As of now, it's looking like Brooklyn, Quinn, and Cam will be going up on the block. And then tomorrow, we'll see what happens with the veto competition. So I want to thank all of our super chatters today. Let's see who we got. Excuse me. Shane Wright, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate it as always. The CAC 16, thank you so much. Oh, blow a kiss, absolutely. Benjamin, thank you so much. Benjamin asks, what are the chances of Angela going to the end? Seems like all of her opponents are leaving left and right, especially if Brooklyn leaves this week. I mean, it's definitely making her life a lot easier, right? I could see her making it pretty far. I mean, honestly, after a certain point, people might want to take her to the end because they feel like they can beat her. I don't know if she would have any chance of actually winning with the jury vote because I feel like people are not going to take her seriously, but like she might be able to build up quite a resume. I mean, she's already won 2 HOH competitions, but I think it's definitely possible for her to make it really deep into this game and potentially even to the end. A lot of her obstacles are being removed, and with her now aligning so closely with Tucker, it could be good for her. We'll see. Chris, thank you so much for the super chat. Lisa, thank you so much. Are you glad that Lisa's gone now? So you're the only Lisa here. True Teddy, thank you so much. True Teddy says, "Oh, hi. This season feels like the first season where every scenario I want is happening for once. The chaos duo of Angela and Tucker made jury now." Do we know that? Like, did Julie say if jury's starting yet? I'm not sure because I feel like in recent years the jury's been smaller, but I may just be like making that up. But I feel like I remember it being smaller. But yeah, it does seem like a lot of stuff is falling into place for us viewers, right? Everybody who loves the chaos, it's all working out. So it's been a lot of fun so far. Indie Girl, thank you so much. Those hippos are so cute. David Cushmore, thank you for the super chat. David asks, "Is Quinn running out of time? Who's most likely going to the jury first?" That's a good question, but two good questions. Is Quinn running out of time? So it doesn't seem like he's the main target this week, but I do see him being in trouble in the immediate future. I mean, if things don't work out, it is still possible that he could leave this week, depending on who he's next to. Also depending on how he handles himself this week, right? If he is out of control up on the block, that's not going to be good. But if he can keep it together, he should be okay this week. But he's still going to have a lot of people looking at him as a target. And who's most likely going to the jury first? It's hard to say. It's going to depend on when the jury starts. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the former Pentagon members like Cam, Chelsea, Brooklyn if she doesn't go this week. So we'll see. I mean, it's a good question, but I think it's probably going to be one of the former Pentagoners. Diane Schaefer, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. So yeah, I think we'll call it a day there. Please don't be mad at me, but I can't do a stream tomorrow or Sunday. I know this is such a crazy weekend and it's really exciting with Tucker being HOH, but I do have a craft show tomorrow. And then Sunday, I am busy with my usual Sunday stuff. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do a stream this weekend. I feel bad about it. I'm going to try to make it up to you guys on Monday and talk about all the good stuff that's going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But yeah, we'll still be recapping Sunday night's episode as well. So I just feel bad that I can't do my usual Sunday stream. So, or Saturday stream. But I hope y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy watching the live feeds. I'm sure they're going to be chaotic. It's fun to watch these people squirm. And until next time, much love. Goodbye, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.